What is going on YouTube? Hannah back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we are going to be looking at XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin, as well as the S&P 500. As you guys can clearly tell, I am not at my old apartment or in my new apartment. I am currently at my house on Long Island, so things are a little bit different in regards to the video, but I think things are going to be working great on the new iPhone that I have, the iPhone 14, so hopefully that's filming everything correctly here. It is a little weird seeing myself because on my camera, typically I can see like the same side that I put my hand up, but here it's reversed, so it's a little confusing looking at my iPhone screen on the camera there, but otherwise things are doing okay. And I haven't had my morning coffee either, so things are also slightly muddled there in my head. So just be patient, and once I get everything working here, then everything will be back up and perfect come tomorrow. I just need today to get things over. My flight landed super late yesterday, like it was a private flight, but it was like we had about a 4 or 5 hour delay. Something broke on the plane, one of the generators, so we had to get maintenance to fix the plane, put a new generator in, and then fly over here. And then we landed, and then I was able to get home. So it should have been 2 o'clock, took till 7 o'clock. So pain in the butt, but it was fixed, got here, so on and so forth. I'll be here for the next couple of days, getting things done, and then I'll be back in Florida. But for right now, looking at the major cryptocurrencies here, as you guys can see, there's some interesting things that took place over yesterday, and I apologize for not making a video yesterday, but some very interesting, peculiar things happened that I was actually quite shocked about. So we didn't really see much movement on XRP specifically. XRP is still in since the last time we talked about 2 days ago. Some sort of uptrend here. We are creating higher lows, and we are continuing this movement to the upside here until at some point we retest this major resistance in purple here, and then we'll see where that goes. But moving forward from that, the S&P is doing exactly what we expected and anticipated, but we are once again filling in the gap here, getting to a point now where another decision is going to have to be made. As you guys know, we had some sort of downtrend here where the prices were dropping quite substantially, but we started to see an ascending fractal. And as I've said numerous times over, we are in what looks like a very, very, very heavily bearish, fractal. Lots of things are lining up to be bearish here. In the past 2 days, we've rejected beautifully off this top resistance here, and we're now back to retesting moving average, price floor, and so on and so forth here. But we'll see if this lasts, and I'd like to know what you guys think. Is this going to last? Is the S&P going to break through its top resistance here and head up, or are we going to start to come down? Truly, I believe we are going to start to see this play out, but I'm not entirely sure. And then we are going to be looking at cryptos like Bitcoin and Ethereum, which I was surprised to be breaking through these. But as I've said before, typically these descending fractals have bullish biases, and now we're starting to see that play out, which is good, but they're not at the point yet where we want to buy in. We're very, very, very close for a potential bullish buy-in, but more about that later. With that being said, definitely make sure to smash the like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe, and let's dive into today's episode. So guys, diving into today's video, I do want to talk about some interesting things with you. As you guys can see, top 10 cryptocurrencies, quick refresh, everything is actually starting to swing up. This was kind of interesting. It was a little earlier than I had expected, but I was anticipating some sort of reversal to come soon to the markets here, and we could have a buy-in opportunity very, very, very soon. Potential buy-in for a long position, potentially by the end of today, which is quite exciting, and definitely stick around for that. But looking at these cryptos here, you can see top 10 cryptos. We do have Bitcoin, which is slowly starting to reverse rally back up. You can see very beautifully seeing that swing to the upside here, but we're now starting to see some interesting formations happen when we carry this over to the technical indicators. You can see here, I was actually shocked to see that Ethereum is breaking bullish outside its major descending fractal. Now, I've talked about this before, and I just pulled up my previous video from my most recent one besides today here, but we did discuss typically that when we see this bearish drop and then form into a descending fractals are usually bullish biases. But if we have ascending fractals, like if we fell into this and then saw a symmetrical triangle or an ascending fractal to the upside here, that would be bearish. But this is reversed where we're falling lower here. Typically, what I was expecting to see happen, what I drew out, was we would hit the top, fall back down probably to support, and then be breaking outwards here. We're surprisingly doing that earlier, and you can see in my previous video 2 days ago on the 28th, today's the 30th here, you can see on Ethereum I did a similar drawing here, how we were in this descending fractal. Typically these have a bullish bias to break to the upside here once we get low enough here, and you can see we were scaling. I figured we'd scale lower, retest bottom support at 1,000, then be breaking bullish. That's not actually what's happening here. Surprisingly, Ethereum's breaking out slightly earlier here, but it's not an opportunity to buy in just yet. The reason being is we're now retesting a major resistance. As you guys remember in the past here, today could reveal in 11 hours whether or not we buy in. And it all comes down to one thing. As you guys can see on Ethereum specifically, in the past here, this was a very vital, time that we were tracking Ethereum and getting ready to buy in. And you can see here we had a triple bottom formation here where there was a clear neckline at the top and a clear price floor. And we discovered that there's a sideways channel where the prices like to kind of hang out in here. But we discussed that it'd be clear if we were to see the candle close us above this neckline of resistance here, we could buy in. And as you guys can clearly tell, it cost us, we made a ton of profit off this rally. We closed above here, this candle, and just every day after was an explosion in price here, which was very exciting off a triple bottom formation here. We also had a neckline. If we broke through neckline, we'd buy in for a short position to the downside. Well, flash forward to today, or a couple of weeks ago, we then used that same neckline as a means of support. And here we are again. We unfortunately broke through it, and now we're currently retesting it on the daily. So simply put, because we're seeing this, vigor in regards to the volume here swing us to the upside, if we can close the daily candle today above resistance at 1271 and start trending in this channel here, then we'll very easily see a reversal up to 1570. But like I said, there's tons of problem zones in this price ceiling. There's a very, very, very strong price ceiling. And there's a good chance we're not going to do that. There's also a big chance we see a dump and a reversal. I'm shocked that we saw this inverse fluctuation. Typically, the S&P 500, the stock market has, we've always thought it would act independently and separate from crypto here. But the past couple of years, since like 2019, 2020, we've seen them act very much so dependent on each other here. And somehow, surprisingly, in regards to the daily charts, the past 2 days, we've seen the stock market, the S&P fall lower here, and we've seen things on Bitcoin and Ethereum do the opposite, reversals to the upside here. So Ethereum moved up the past 2 days while the S&P moved down, which is very confusing. But regardless, separating that for the next couple of days here, you can see Ethereum's coming up to retest this. If we break through this is it. Simply put, we'll buy in for a long position to the upside here, easily seeing 1586, at least up to the moving average at 1475. But a big run, obviously, we'll be taking advantage of this on Bityard, the #1 cryptocurrency leveraging exchange that I like to use here on the channel. Not only do they offer Bitcoin, Ethereum, they offer XRP, which is incredible. Not many exchanges offer this. You can see when we're trading Ethereum specifically, that's what we're talking about. You can buy long, you can sell short. They have leverage here. You can put whatever you want. You have the margin ticker right here. The best part is they even have a demo account, which you can see here when I click demo. They give you 100K Monopoly money to test your skills, which is quite convenient here. And then you can go back to here, and there's zero risk when you use that demo account. Best part is if you sign up with the link down in the description, click mystery box, and you can get free crypto when you sign up, which is awesome as well. Now, moving forward, I feel like I have a lot to talk about because I didn't talk about this yesterday. So if today's video goes a little bit longer than scheduled, then definitely make sure to stick around. But and I am bouncing all over the place because I haven't had enough coffee. Although it might seem like I have, I did not. So surprisingly, I'm just a morning person. But you can see here we are starting to head up on Bitcoin's chart here. I believe we're going to get caught up with resistance, and then a big decision is going to have to be made. That's an update. I'm not trading XRP at the current moment. Ethereum is looking very good as well. You can see we're trending inside the sideways channel here. Obviously, one of two things is going to happen. We're going to hit this resistance and dump back to bottom support at 1040, or we're going to break above here today, which would be incredible, and we would buy in for a long and leverage that to the upside. What's quite confusing is the way Bitcoin is moving. This is shocking. Potentially, we could have hit a bottom. Some people think we did, some people don't. But tonight, if we can close exactly where we are, I think I'm going to be putting at least a trade on Bitcoin, which I know is shocking. We haven't made many trades. I've been posting a few things on Patreon, but otherwise we kind of just stagnant waiting here. So ironically, there's a resistance line on Ethereum here. There is a resistance that we haven't been able to break, and we're currently retesting that neckline now. But for Bitcoin, we don't have that. We really don't have that. So ideally, this major drop that we had was just filled with uncertainty. And you can see here the difference between 16.3 and like 19, there's really no resistances there. So there's a big chance we could reverse rally right back up inside, 19K very soon. We could easily reverse rally right back up to the moving average, which is truly what I think is going to happen. I think it's just going to take some time. And we were in this, descending fractal here, which, like I say, has a bullish bias, but I didn't know how long it was going to take before we do that. But regardless, the fact that we're seeing a green candle this morning means yesterday was fine to wait out on because we didn't really see much movement here. Ethereum saw a little bit of movement. We closed this resistance, and now we're seeing some big movements here. But in regards to possible entries, Bitcoin would be the highest on my list here. Bitcoin would be the highest because we're closing outside of the descending fractal here. This is a bullish bias to me. If we can close tonight at exactly where we are, 16.8, anything outside this descending fractal would be enough reason for me to believe we can start to see reversals back to the upside here. But as for the S&P, this is where things get like super confusing for me that I'm really trying to figure out. I believe we are starting to get rejected off the moving average as expected. You can see why I believe we have so many bearish biases here. We have a massive descending fractal, you can see here, which has a descending, which has a downward slope until we break bullish. Now we've seen Bitcoin, and you see what happens in these descending fractals. We do end up breaking bullish. We just need to know when. But truly, I believe it's going to be a little bit later, unfortunately, here. So we do have this descending fractal. We have lower highs and lower lows, continued pattern here. You can see here, consistent rejection off the green band top resistance here. Consistently, I'm going to change this color FYI, just so we're all looking at the different patterns that we have all aligning today. You can see here, so this descending fractal, those are different colors. This descending fractal here, you can see in purple, is heading us lower here. So we are in a resistance in regard to that. That is a bearish bias. Then throw in the fact that we have an ascending fractal off a drop. So this major dump in price formed an ascending fractal here. This is a bearish bias to reversing downwards here. So that's 2. We're then retesting the weekly moving average right here, which is another major resistance. That's 3 bearish reasons. Now moving forward here, we're then hitting the top of the massive 12-year, 13-year ascending fractal here on the S&P 500. This major thing that's started since 0809 here, this major uptrend and the major top resistance, which we've plopped down, I think, very nice. I mean, we can obviously extend this lower. It really doesn't make much of a difference. I just want to make sure I have this correct, though. Just like that is kind of what we're dealing with. I'm going to leave it alone because I feel like I'm messing it up. It's something like that. But I'll leave it alone just for now because we do like to use it. Although I don't think it makes much of a difference when you play around with it back in history. It's not changing much at the top. But you can see here, we're now retesting the top resistance. So what happens when we retest the top of that resistance? We reject lower, consistently rejecting lower. So we're doing that again here without money being increased into the market. That's a 4th reason why we're going to see a potential bearish correction. Then we have these, green bands of price ceiling resistances, which is also acting as resistance. That's also becoming a 5th reason. Then jumping to the daily, we're nearing overbought. That's a 6th reason. So there's like half a dozen reasons screaming for correction to come here. So if we do the opposite and we see us break through this, I would be floored and astounded because truly my mind's at the fact that I think we're going to see a drop here very soon, and I think it's going to pull these other cryptos with it. But we'll take the risk because I do believe the stock market's going to drop. If we do the opposite, we break through this, I'm going to be shocked. We have a lot of, we're trying to remove money. We have quantitative tightening, removing money from the market here. So to see the markets explode to the upside here above a major resistance is a little confusing. But with that being said, definitely make sure to smash the like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.